Hello and welcome to Broken Entertainment. So, Vanity Fair did an article on Zack Snyder and his Snyder Cut, and in it they talk about how Zack Snyder, and this kind of their headline is that Zack Snyder's not being paid for the Snyder Cut, and that's a voluntary decision on his part in order to get the movie actually finished because Warner Brothers originally just wanted to release it as is, which would have been a terrible idea. Well, there's a lot in this article, but there's a few things that are really fascinating that I think we should get into, and that's what I'm going to kind of pick out of this article. But if you want to read the rest of it, I would highly suggest doing so. It's a really interesting look into the whole process. But this is the first thing that really caught my attention. After Whedon's reinterpretation of the Justice League screened on the Warner Brothers lot, executive producer Christopher Nolan and Deborah Snyder, the director's wife and producing partner, had a blunt message for Snyder. They came and they just said, "You can never see that movie." So we know producers don't generally have a lot to do with their movies. That's why I wasn't surprised with the way the Justice League looked, even though Christopher Nolan was on it as a producer. But maybe they should, because this is a movie that failed on every possible level, and it failed so badly it almost destroyed the entire DC Extended Universe. And here you have Christopher Nolan watches the movie on the Warner Brothers lot before it's ever released to critics or anything like that, and he hates it. I mean, maybe get involved. I'm just saying. It amazes me that you can spend hundreds of millions of dollars on movies, and the people who are funding them and helping them get finished, the producers, don't do anything. They don't go on the set. They don't pay any attention. Then the movie comes out and they're like, wow, that's really bad. The other thing is, Snyder estimates to Vanity Fair that reshoots and post-production costs carried a $70 million price tag. That's pretty cheap. And, this article calls this a gamble, but it's not. Because $70 million plus the price of advertising figure around 100, 120 million total. They've got Funko dolls, they've got comic covers, they've got these trailers coming out. But a lot of the advertising, let's face it, is word of mouth. And what they're trying to do, of course, is get new people on HBO Max. So if you can get all these people on HBO Max that have been clamoring for this movie, and there's a lot of them, and then also interest people outside of that group in seeing this movie, and they're doing a pretty good job of that too. And they all sign up for HBO Max, and then you can hook them with stuff like the Batman animated series that's just come on to HBO Max, and not to mention their other shows. I mean, that's a win-win. You take something that was sitting around and was basically trash. It's digital trash, but it's trash. And you finish it and produce an actual movie for 100, $120 million. I mean, win-win. It says, Link has been a persistent problem even before Snyder exited the project. How am I supposed to introduce 6 characters and an alien with potential for world domination in 2 hours? I mean, I can do it. It can be done. Clearly it was done. But I didn't see it. I mean, talk about a backhanded slap at Wheedon, right? Oh, you can't really do this in 2 hours. I mean, they did, but, I didn't watch it. It's really so much work that they tried to not do. Because Marvel built up to the Avengers. They had a lot of movies. They had the additional characters like Black Widow introduced in other people's movies. because you don't want to get Black Widow a movie. That would be too hard, right? Let's wait until she's dead and then give her a prequel. Um, and they tried to race to it. They didn't earn it. They didn't build up to it. And that was really the problem with the Justice League. And this cut's not going to fix that. Let's be clear. With everything else wrong with it, the Justice League is trying to build on a foundation of nothing. You've got Man of Steel, you've got Batman versus Superman, but you needed to have Man of Steel, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. Bare minimum for your movies. Then you could have done Batman vs. Superman to set up the Justice League, which they did, and cut out all the important bits for some reason. So, he had clashes with the studio, this we know. He's doing it in honor of his daughter. So, Wheedon reportedly reshot 75% of the movie. Think about how expensive this was. His behavior on set, yada yada, Cryborg. When we got to see what Josh actually did, it was stupefying. An anonymous studio executive told the magazine. Stupefying. So they let him make this movie, Joss Whedon, gave him the keys to the kingdom, and he comes back with a half-assed slapstick Avengers clone. And they're surprised. They're like, oh my god. But they don't do anything about it. To me, yes, you would have been throwing away $600 million, but, or however much it cost to make this movie. But if you throw that away and you say, okay, we've had issues, we're going to come back to this. Sorry, the Justice League isn't going to come out. Instead, we're going to make a Batman movie and an Aquaman movie and a Wonder Woman movie, because Wonder Woman hadn't come out. That's all you got to do. But they didn't. They went with it. And it cost them to the point that the entire DC universe unravels. Because now you've got nothing to base your movies on, and you're just kind of trying to limp along with the Aquaman movie that comes out. And, they just did it all in the wrong order. And then instead of saying, hey, this movie's terrible, let's not release it, they said, oh, this is awful. Here you go. And the audience was like, wow, that was not great. And after successive not great DC movies, people turned away. And they could have stopped it. And they could have saved their plan by just delaying it. And then having it redone by Snyder when he was ready, or by somebody else qualified. In the meantime, you build up fan interest and fan respect with good movies. They didn't do that. Imagine if Shazam, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and a Batman movie all came out before Justice League. Aquaman is well received. Shazam is well received. Wonder Woman is well received. Imagine if that happened and then the Justice League movie, not done that way, had come out. Much better plan. And then the executive goes on, the robber on the rooftop, so goofy and awful, the Russian family, so useless and pointless, and everybody knew it. It was so awkward because nobody wanted to admit what a piece of shit it was. This is an executive at Warner Brothers. They knew it was bad. They knew it was bad and they released it anyway. And now they're suffering with the damage. And, fortunately for them, it looks like they might start to recover from it with some of the movies that have been coming out. Wonder Woman 84 is a big stumbling block, but I think they'll recover from that. A lot is going to hang on The Flash. And If that movie bombs, that might be it for a while, be honest. We'll see what they do. Fans called for mounting pressure, blah, blah. Okay. Let's see. When he left the project, he took his laptop, which contained his original, much longer version of the Justice League. However, it had no special effects or music or other niceties. Initially, the company asked him to release his version without the expensive touch-ups and reshoots, and he was like, "That's a no, that's a hard no," Snyder said. Here's why. 3 reasons. 1, you get the internet off your back, which is probably your main reason for wanting to do this. 2, you get to feel vindicated for making things right, I guess on some level. And then 3, you get a shitty version of a movie that you can point at and go, see, it's not that good anyway, so maybe I was right. I was like, no chance. I'd rather just have the Snyder Cut be a mythical unicorn. So, you know, he's spot on. Right? That's what they're doing. They're just trying to throw it out there and get rid of it. Instead, he manages to convince them, no, this is an opportunity. Bring these fans onto HBO Max. Warner Media relented, but in order to get the kind of control of the project that he failed to have on the feature film, Snyder says he's foregoing his salary. I'm sure he'll be fine. Another industry insider says that Snyder was not given any additional money because the film is technically a director's cut, so his initial contract for the first film is still in effect. That's interesting. I'm not getting paid, Snyder told the magazine. I didn't want to be beholden to anyone, and it allowed me to keep my negotiating powers with these people pretty strong. Spot on. Good job. The more I hear from this guy on this movie, the more respect I have for him. He has treated the fans so well. His fans were attacked as being toxic on Twitter, and he stood up for them. And because they stood up for him, now he has stood up for them. And he's making Warner Brothers see that they can make this movie, make money off of it, get people interested and invested in HBO Max. He has a certain style, and it doesn't always work. And Batman vs. Superman had a lot of problems. I think he was trying to smash too much into one movie. And I suspect that movie he also wanted to be a longer movie or to be more than one movie, and Warner Brothers probably said no. But he has made very good movies. And his style is an artistic style. It's not like Michael Bay where it's all explosions and ha-has. It's a well done visual style. Everything is visually specifically chosen for a purpose. If you look at 300, everything in that movie is not horribly visual, is tremendously visual. It's a visual story that he's telling in a specific art form. And does it always appeal to the mass audience for superhero movies? No. Is it a little darker than we might want Man of Steel to be? Yeah, probably. But it is his style. And he's willing to stand up for that style. And for that, I have a lot of respect. Because he has this vision, and I think it's going to be a good movie. And I think, yes, it's darker, but you can start dark and go light. You know what I mean? Like, his visual palette is darker and it's gray, but that's kind of the point. Like I said, he does everything for a reason. And I think he's trying to portray this DC universe as a dark, gray place. And then Superman comes onto the scene. But you have to get past Darkseid before things can get brighter. And I think that's where we're going. And I would like to see the return of color. One of the things I actually liked about Wonder Woman 84 and the original Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman's colors were there. I didn't like that in Batman vs Superman. She's basically wearing like bronze. But is a certain style. It doesn't agree with everybody, but he stands up for his fans. He fights for his art. And that's the kind of thing we need right now. At least he cares. At least, even if you don't agree with it, at least he has a vision and a passion for what he's doing. And he cares and he's willing to stand up and say, no, 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 no. We're not going to release a piece of crap. We're going to finish it. Or we're not going to do it at all. And at least he's fighting for his fans when so many creators are turning on the fans. He's out there going, no, these people aren't toxic. You don't get to say that. So I have tremendous respect for him now. I didn't really care for his vision in a lot of ways. But I have a lot of respect for him. And that respect and the way he's treated his fans that have stood and fought for him is why I'm going to watch this movie above anything else. And I'm going to go into it not expecting the bright, shiny DC universe that people think exists, but expecting Snyder's style. I think that's important too. And I'm all in. I'm gonna buy it on Blu-ray. I'm gonna buy the Justice is Gray version of it on Blu-ray because when we see people who respect the fans and who fight for the fans and who fight for art and creativity and entertainment, that needs our money. Because if you have studios like HBO and they produce something like Wonder Woman 84 and nobody pays for it, and then they produce something that is done by somebody who cares and is passionate and defends the fans, and that gets a lot of money, a studio like Warner Brothers that's owned by AT&T that's $100 billion in debt goes, oh, money. That's where it is. The way you make these people change the way they do things is with your wallet. Close it for the stuff that doesn't deserve it. And open it for the stuff that does. Even to the point of, even if you don't like Zack Snyder. I'm not saying go out and buy his Blu-rays if you don't like him. But even if you don't like his take, give it a shot. Watch a little bit of it, and if you don't like it, turn it off. That's fine. But this is the stuff that needs our support. Because if we give it our support, and we take away our support from the stuff that calls us bigots, that's how they change. Because at the end of the day, all the fake money eventually goes away, like AT&T has found out, and you have to make hard decisions, and they have to go, what's bringing in money and what isn't. I want more of the stuff that brings in money and less stuff that doesn't. So, yes, I am going to give them my money on this. I recommend that you at least give it a shot on HBO Max if you own it. I'm not saying you need to go out and pay money. If you don't like his style, don't watch it. But be on the lookout for other artists, other creators, other writers, other movie directors who are making things that they're passionate about and who aren't insulting the fans. And if you find those things and they're things you like, do everything you can to support them. And take away your support from the things that want to call, where the creators, like Star Wars, call you a racist because you don't like a character. So yeah, anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it'll be a great movie. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will do a review when this movie comes out, and we'll see where it goes. But I think we're in for an interesting ride in the DC universe. I really do, especially with the Flash movie coming out. Who Either the Flash movie is going to be brilliant or it's going to run face first into a brick wall. And I can't wait to see which one it is. So if you like the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications. And I will see you next time.